Hi everyone. So in this video I am going to explore GitHub. So I in one of my sessions previously a couple of weeks ago I covered Git. So how to use Git, it's pretty basic, but basically you so what is Git and what is GitHub, right? So these are the two. As a developer we need to store and track the code and the various versions, and when you collaborate, so if too many people are working, then we create branches on so it's kind of a code management and the GitHub is basically, it uses Git, which is an open source version control system. So it has been very popular. So I'm just logged into my account and I have a lot of some of stuff that I've coded and I've shared it. But one of the things that is important is that recently, if you see some of this something new that has with the in AI coming into picture, its Copilot has been integrated with a lot of products. So one of them is, let's say, GitHub. So in you can ask any question, and also it's also very helpful, like if you have integrated Copilot with your Visual Studio, so then it can actually write sample code and kind of help instead of we going around and trying to figure out. So it's a pretty cool tool. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is today is, so I have this repo, right? And now if I have a lot of projects in here, so let's say that I want, so I don't know if anybody, so this one is basically GitHub workflows. So let me just pick any repository, right? So what is now GitHub is basically where you will store the code, and you're going to check out and work. Now what is a GitHub workflow? So GitHub workflow is basically, it's kind of automation. It adds automation. It's automated process where you have a repository and you can define a series of tasks, and then it will do those. For example, you can, so once you've written code, for example, I'll give an example where I'm using it is, I build images, right? So when I'm giving images to my clients or my customers or my team, which are like clean base images, so for that, one of the what are the tasks I will need? So I will have a Docker file and I will have a manifest which will tell me, okay, which will have steps that, okay, build, how do you build it, right? You'll have to use Docker command to build it. And next thing will be, what will you do after it's built? It's, you have to push it, right? It will say push the image. It will have the details of the repository and then the credentials to push it. And then also it can have stuff that you can also kind of do any post checks to it. So it's basically very useful and it has a lot of features. And it's so I don't have it set up here, but what I'm going to show you is, so first I will show you the Copilot. So in here, if I just ask how to use GitHub workflows, so GitHub, the Copilot will. So one of the things that it's, of course, if you, for coding you need to install it, but it will exactly tell you the steps what you need. So it's so simple. So like before this, I didn't know anything about GitHub workflows, and then I was like, okay, let me start exploring it. So what it is showing you is actually what you need to do, right? So it says create a workflow file. So that's what we need. So if you have so you will have your code and then you want it to be, it's kind of a CI, right? You want to build it and deploy somewhere. So first thing, you will need a creator.github/workflows directory in your account. And then you will have to create a file. Now it has to be a YAML file. You can call it any, like main or your manifest or Docker, whatever you want to call it, but that's the file, and that's the file that will define your workflow. So if you see this simple example, they're also doing, yeah, he's also trying to, in this show that he's using repository where what actions he's doing, and then he's doing a run script, and also he's using the image. So this, all these details, if you are available, like what is, how to write a workflow file. But so if I think GitHub workflows, right? If I sample, if I do it in GitHub, it's in docs, GitHub itself, there's a very big, there are different, yeah. So this is a very good page. It will show exactly what you need, and they will have samples. And also I use this to build my own Docker workflow for pushing an image. But if you see, so this is already telling you what to do. So what I have to do is, let's say if I create a folder over here, let me say I'll create a new project, and then in a tech, which because I want to shams I want to create a new repository, let's say. Workflow, right? Get or I will say POC, maybe workflow. So it's available. Okay, POC on using GitHub workflows, and it's public. And let me add a readme there. I don't need license, and I'll create the repo. So once I have the repo, now I need to create, as it's saying, right? I need to create a .github and slash workflows. So I will create a folder. So this can also be done using Git. So once you have Git CLI on your machine, then when you integrate it, with creds, then you can directly use the CLI. So I'm going to, now this is this thing. Now I'm going to create a new file, and my file will in here will be in this folder. Main.yaml. This is my manifest. Now this may my manifest, and let me just copy this for now, and then I can change it later, but I just want to show you. So this one is simple, so I'm going to just copy that. I'm going to paste it here, and then I'm going to just commit my changes. So now in my POC workflows, if you see, I have a main.yaml over here, but I come up over here, and at this level I need to have a sample Docker file. So let's say if I just create a file, Docker file, right? So I will say from anything, Alpine latest, and entry point, or else a CMD. It might have some syntax, but I'm just trying to show what you need. So you need a main file, right? If you're building images, you need a Docker file which will have where you're getting your image. So if I'm picking a base image of Alpine, and then I'm adding some stuff to it, like my code or anything like that, and then I have to have a workflow file over here which will define like this, that what I want to do with it, right? And then finally I have to commit and push. So when this starts automatically, then actions will start. Of course it will fail in my case. So once I have pushed all of this, if I see actions, you see, if I so it's right now it's not connected to any like any of your artifact or anything like that. But when this thing, if you run it, then this is basically, it will take each of the task from your main.yaml, and then it's going to run it.